Hey all my late but blooming babes. Welcome back to my channel. It's your late but blooming bestie, Dom. And welcome back for another video. On this channel, we talk about narcissistic abuse, how to spot the signs and symptoms of narcissism, and how to get out of those relationships and avoid them if possible. So if those are things that you are interested in, do all the things you're supposed to do on YouTube to make it do what it does, okay? So like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things, right? Right. If you are new here, welcome. Hopefully this is not the last time you stop by and you take something with you along the way. And if you are returning again, welcome back. And today we are going to discuss narcissists and their flying monkeys. Okay, so they are a doozy. So first of all, what is a flying monkey? The term flying monkey is was given a name rather, derived from my absolute favorite movie, the 1939 classic, The Wizard of Oz, and the flying monkeys that were used by the Wicked Witch of the West, who just did her bidding, no matter right or wrong. They just did whatever she said do because she was the one in control. But as soon as Dorothy defeated her, they were like, oh yeah, man, that was messed up. I ain't feel like doing this, no way. We out. Forget about it. That's where the term flying monkey comes from. And like those flying monkeys that were in The Wizard of Oz, real life flying monkeys in the narcissist's life are willing to do whatever the narcissist's bidding is so that they can maintain whatever their spot is in the narcissist's life. Whatever they have to do or say to maintain favor with them, they are willing to do it. So they are flying monkeys. Now, where flying monkeys become problematic, rather, in a relationship, of course, is they're inputting themselves in a relationship dynamic that they don't fully understand. They're basically being used as pawns to validate the narcissist, whether they're right or wrong. They're being manipulated in a whole different way than the partner of a narcissist is being manipulated, or the person who's more intimate, in a more intimate relationship, whether it's a partner dynamic or not, whether it's a sibling, a mom, father, whatever the case may be. Whoever the narcissist is most closely tied to is getting something, or is given something rather, completely different than what that flying monkey gets. Like I said, the flying monkey, to them, in their eyes, the narcissist can do no wrong because that's how the narcissist presents themselves to the flying monkey. They always are happy to maintain their image. You know, that's what they do. That's what they love. They want to be looked at as these great, wonderful people. So that's how they present themselves to those who are interacting. Those who are interacting with them in the public. Now, like I said, depending upon where the narcissist may have originally known the flying monkey, i.e., did they know them from school? Did they know them growing up? Did they meet them at a job, etc.? You'll get a different version of that narcissist because, again, it all is a mask that they have to maintain. So, of course, if they're out in the streets with the homies, they have a different mask on than when they're at their job in corporate America doing something different. So, if you meet the flying monkey in that atmosphere, they have to keep on a different mask in order to maintain that relationship. So each flying monkey actually has a different version of the narcissist that they're clinging on to, but they are a flying monkey nonetheless, because that same narcissist is telling every flying monkey that they have a position in their life that may or may not really even exist. Narcissists manipulate situations and say and do whatever is necessary to get what they want. At the end of the day, they talk a great game, but you cannot take these people with a grain of salt. They are maximum full-time bullshitters. Period. Point blank. They know how to observe, so they can look and see what they need to do or say, how they need to behave. They study you because, again, they need to get whatever they need to get. So they need to know how to behave in order to get to the end goal. So they study you. And they study those who they're going to make their flying monkeys because, again, they have to hold their positioning with that person, because when it's time to attack or go against or someone to defend them blindly, they are going to turn to that flying monkey. I'll give you a very short version of a very long story in my life, in it as an example of a flying monkey. Once upon a time, I was married to a person with narcissistic personality disorder. allegedly, or whatever you have to say behind that, because he's not diagnosed and I'm not a psychiatrist. But in studying the signs and symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder, along with being with said person for almost 20 years of my life, I am confident in saying that I do believe that that is the case with that situation. However, going back to it, going towards the tail end of the relationship, where I could just see that it was getting to the point where I was getting fed up. I could feel it. Nothing was right. I felt like I was walking on eggshells all the time. I never dealt with anxiety in my life until, at that point. So it was just getting there for me. But I'm a consummate fighter. I always try my best as long as I can try my best. Sometimes in healing, I have gotten much better with that. But there was a time where holding on tight, wouldn't let go, wouldn't let go. But he had a coworker. Now, I don't know for a fact, but they were very, 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 very close. So I don't know if it ever crossed into more than just co-worker territory. Would I be surprised if it didn't? If it did? Absolutely not. Would I be surprised if it didn't? Absolutely. If it never crossed into something inappropriate physically, because there were many inappropriate moments, but physically, then I would be very surprised. Just because narcissists are willing to sleep with anyone who's willing to give them the attention, because sex is actually one of the ways that they use to hook you into them and to spiritually tie you to them. So they will sleep with anything and anybody. If they know your first name, sometimes that's not even a thing either. But if you say something nice to them and you're willing to do it, then you got a good chance with a narcissist. So if they did not, I would be very surprised. But that's neither here nor there. But to me, she would act like, oh yes, I just care so much about y'all relationship, and you guys are just so wonderful together. And yeah, I understand that he behaves this way, that way, the third. He acts like my ex-husband because I went through X, Y, and Z. With me, very sympathetic, very empathetic, all of the things that someone who is a friend should be. Okay, cool, great, wonderful. Now with him, of course, oh, he does this, but he loves you so much. I understand he does this. I don't understand why he does that, but he loves you. He loves you. He loves you, right? So consummate cheerleader for him and his foolishness. But when I would say I'm going through X, Y, and Z, it would all be, well, no, but if you act like this, then maybe he won't behave like that. Or if you don't say this to him, then maybe he won't be like that. Well, maybe he's acting this way because he had this problem at his job. It was always something to combat what I was saying, because you're a flying monkey of him. You're going to cheer him on no matter what he's doing, because he's feeding the flying monkey something completely different than what is actually happening in real life. And that can be very frustrating for the survivor of narcissistic personality disorder and the abuse that comes from being with someone in that relationship, when you're trying to tell someone what you're going through, you're trying to get help or advice or something just to alleviate the feeling of going absolutely crazy that you might be going through, and for someone to tell you, well, maybe if you do this, or maybe you wouldn't be going through that if you handled it this way. Or maybe if you changed your tone or did this. That is so frustrating. Because what does X have to do with 18A? What are we talking about? It gets very frustrating. And because you get frustrated, then you again decide you don't want to deal with that person. But that also fuels the story that flying monkey is giving him. See her attitude? She has a nasty attitude, right? Look at that attitude. Now imagine what I gotta deal with, and all of that kind of thing. When really, you're frustrated, you need help, but you have people constantly telling you what you're doing wrong instead of acknowledging what you're actually going through. Flying monkeys are there for that. Again, they are a tool that is used by the narcissist to, one, validate them no matter whether they're right or wrong, because they've convinced those people and manipulated those people that they're the victim in the situation. They're just trying their darndest to love you the right way, and you're just so complicated. You need so much, and you're always so unhappy. Poor them. And the flying monkeys, for whatever reason, foolish, they take that and, oh, woe is me, I'll help you. I have this advice, I have that advice. You know what? You're right. You are a great person, so they must be doing wrong. It's a mess. But Narcissists recruit flying monkeys because again, they do the bidding. They do their bidding for them. So when they want to know some information, say if you do decide, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm gonna go no contact. I'm gonna block this person on everything. They'll then use those flying monkeys to then, hey, go find out what you can find out and bring it back to me. I can't find out anything on my own. So you go find out the information for me. When I decided to leave the relationship, he had someone call me that I didn't hadn't spoken to in over 10 years. One of a previous flying monkey of his called me out of the blue, and because our phone lines were on the same line, I thought maybe I was calling an error. What's this about? So I called back and was like, "Hey, did you mean to call me?" She was like, "Yeah, because he's saying that you guys are gonna split up, and what's going on?" Da 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 da. Wait a minute. What? I didn't even know you knew my phone number, which you probably didn't. You were given my phone number and you came on and did his bidding. It didn't work, but that's just an example. They will have these people go do what they want them to do. Even if you try to move on and block them out of your life, they will send these little people after you to see if, can you get her to come back to me? Hey, talk to her for me. Hey, tell her that I need X, Y, and Z. Tell her I feel X, Y, and Z. They'll do that kind of thing. So even when you decide to leave, just be careful. You know what you know how you feel, you know what you went through. No matter what anyone else says, whatever story they got, you know what happened. Only you and that person that you were intimately tied to know exactly what happened. So no one on the outside can tell you anything regarding that situation. So you know what you went through. If you determine up in your mind that you don't want to do it anymore, don't let any of those flying monkeys come and try to trick you into doing something different than what you wanted to do. Don't let them try to talk you into anything. Don't let them try to convince you that you are the issue or that if you would have done something differently, you would have gotten a different outcome. No. It is what it is. It was what it was. You came to the decision that you came to. So stand on that, despite these flying monkeys, because they're going to be around to do whatever this person wants them to do. They were there before you, they're going to be there after you. Extract yourself from the situation because you don't need it. A relationship is supposed to be amongst you and whoever you're having that relationship with. And again, that's in whatever setting or dynamic that is. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a, sister, sibling bond, a parental bond, everyone has their own intimate relationships for a reason. Other people adding their 2 cents where it doesn't belong or doesn't compute or calculate, and they don't even know the whole situation, only makes things worse. It muddies the waters, and that's what a narcissist love. They love to muddy the